Hi there, welcome to the channel. Just want to give you guys an update on this winter scene slash Christmas scene diorama I'm working on. It's just past Labor Day, so that gives me about a month and a half to get this completed. I mean, it's nowhere near finished. I do have a couple of items on order still. For instance, the little figurines. I'm not happy with what I have. I made that bear sleeping in the cave out of clay. It was an inspiration from the book Bear Snores On by Karma Wilson and Jane Chapman. The base of the landscape was styrofoam. There's a little skier coming down the hill. There's a little ski hill. I carved the styrofoam to try to mimic rocks. I need to work on the snow. I've tried grout, baby powder, actual flocking, which mimics snow. I'm not happy with any of them yet. Work in progress. A little bridge. The river is resin. It is a tinted resin. The bridge is made out of styrofoam. Purpose of this video is just to show you the campfire there, the flickering effect that we get. I'll go through that in a moment. There's a close-up of the flame. I need to add some grass using a static grass applicator before I complete the landscaping, before I add the snow. I added micro LEDs to that Hot Wheels truck there, which is holding presents. The base of the house is made out of cardboard and with XPS foam for the accents. Anyways, it's a quick look. There's a lot of work to do. Again, the purpose of this video is to give a tutorial on how to make a realistic campfire using an Arduino and an LED. So let's get to it. Okay. What we need here for the campfire, I've got a small little piece of foam. I've just painted it brown, a greenish brownish color just for base color. Got some LEDs here, yellow LED, yellow resin LED, and another LED. I believe this one's yellow as well. Not sure which one we'll use. Maybe we'll use this one. We can either use an Arduino Uno or an Arduino Nano. For the purpose of this tutorial, I think we're going to go with the Arduino Uno. They're not true Arduinos, they're knockoffs. I purchased them on AliExpress, paid $4.50–5 for each one. The real thing will cost you about $20 on Amazon. We're going to use this hot glue stick for the flame. I've got some little rocks to put around the fire. Got a Q-tip, we'll show you what that's for later. A couple of twigs. Normally you would solder the leads. Actually, I'm going to be using female to female jumper cables for this tutorial. This isn't difficult, trust me, it's easy. We're going to go through the steps, and the code that we're going to use from Arduino will be supplied. All you do is cut and paste into the Arduino IDE, which is the interface, or the Arduino software, which is a free download from the site. We'll use the yellow resin LED and we'll just slide it through the hole at the bottom of the foam core. Now the LED has two leads coming out from the bottom. There's a longer lead and a shorter lead. The longer is the positive, the shorter is the ground. This is a diode, a light emitting diode. It has to have the correct polarity, which means you have to have the positive from the power source to the longer to the positive lead and the ground to the ground. The reverse won't work. So remember that. Power source coming into an Arduino is 5 volts. And the outbound power from an Arduino, we can choose between 5 or 3 volts, which is perfect for our circumstances. We don't need a resistor, as these LEDs are around 3 volts each. So make sure you have a 5-volt power source coming into the Arduino. You don't need much of an amperage. These LEDs are 20 milliamps, so any 5-volt power supply will work. Do not use anything stronger. Don't use a 12-volt. It may burn out the Arduino. The power source I'm using is a variable, so I'll just switch to 5 volts and let's get to work. We're taking an X-Acto knife and we're just cutting a flame shape into the glue stick. You won't really see it. We're going to cover it with twigs. Okay. Looks like a little bit of a flame. Hack flame. We now need to make a little hole at the bottom to be able to fit over the LED. So let's drill it out. Like so. Now you can make a larger flame if you want, but getting it too large, getting too much glue around it may just dim the LED. This isn't that powerful anyway, right? So if we can see here, we got the VIN and the ground mark. The VIN is voltage in, ground is the ground. So the red wire, normally positive wires are red, is the voltage in, plugs into the VIN, and the black wire, or the negative or the ground, will plug into the ground. This is the inbound power source to the Arduino. The code I'll be supplying will be using pin 10 for the output power towards the LED, and we'll be using the ground pin on the outbound. I believe I mentioned earlier that we'll be using a female jumper cable. Actually, what we need is a male to female jumper cable. The male attaches to the Arduino board, the female to the LED. So let's just connect the wires here. It's not complicated. Normally you would solder the wires. Again, this is just a temporary hookup. That's why I'm using the jumper wires. And let's get the input power source set at 5 volts, positive to the VIN voltage in, and the negative to the ground. Correction, I'm using male-to-male jumper wires for the voltage in. I'm just using alligator clips on the one side. So I'm not sure if you can see too good here. We got a flickering light. The code was uploaded to the Arduino earlier. That may help a little bit by turning off the light. It's that simple. Let's just add some aesthetics for the completion. We'll add some rocks and some twigs, and we'll call it a day. You can use as many or as little twigs as you want, but you just want to make it a little realistic fire. Okay, I think that's good enough for this demonstration purposes. Let's add some big boulders around the fire now. And lastly, we'll add some smoke. And here's our campfire. I'll provide a link to download the Arduino IDE and the instructions to get it set up. It's not difficult. It's copy and paste the code in. You plug in the Arduino to your laptop, into your desktop, and just click the upload button and it's done. It's simple. You don't need to know any coding. You don't need to know anything about computer programming. It's really plug and play. Adding the small effects take your projects to another level, and this is just one of them. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, thanks folks.